Hey guys, Lonnie, Real Alcoholic. Man, I want to try to do a short video just to recap this resentment inventory. Resentment is our number one offender. It is why it is so important that we get this resentment inventory understood. We understand the process because in our step 10, in our step 11 nightly inventory, this is the same process we're going to go to. During the day, right? Somebody upsets me. Man, I can do all of this on the fly. Once I practice it, we practice these principles. Once I practice this, man, all of a sudden, somebody's upsetting me. My instincts getting interfered with, right? Man, I just jumped into some lying. All right. I say a prayer, I ask forgiveness, and if I hurt somebody, I make amends. See, I can do that on the fly now because I've practiced it. So, so it's most important to understand what we're looking for in this fourth step. Okay, we got the who's. Okay, we got the whys. What's going on? We done talked about this with our sponsees, so we got a pretty good idea of their life history going on here. Okay, we got our instincts that are being threatened. We say the sick man's prayer. We learn this prayer of forgiveness or something similar. Then I look for my fault. Now, when looking at our faults, okay, it's most important that we realize, let's say I'm talking to somebody and I say, okay, let's take an example. Let's go to the government, right? And I get to, I was self-justifying. I cheated on my taxes. Okay, so I ask them. They say I'm self-justifying. That's what the sponsee says. It says, well, how are you self-justifying? Well, I cheated on my taxes because everybody else does it and they get away with it, right? Okay, well, that's stealing. So we're going to talk about issues like that and the exact nature of the wrong, okay? Let's say I got angry at this second wife and I physically did something to her, slapped her, threw something at her, okay? That was the behavior. That was a result of a character defect. And that's what we want to look at, okay? Is the underlying character defect that drove this behavior. I cursed my mom out. Okay, what character defect was behind that? What led up to it? So this is what we're looking for. When we talk about getting down to causes and conditions and the exact nature of our wrongs, okay? Stealing is bad. We know that, okay? That just seems to be a common a common thread with us humans. We just know stealing's not right, okay? So to confess or to acknowledge that I stole something, yes, that's part of this deal, man. We want to acknowledge our fault. Stealing is a fault, but most of us, that's as far as we got. Most of us, that's as far as we got. I made that mistake doing four steps before somebody sat me down and explained this to me, right? I thought I had to disclose every incident that I did, and I could do that. Man, I could tell you I beat so and so. I could tell you I cursed out so and so. I could tell you I sexually did this wrong. I could tell you that I cheated with somebody. I could tell you, there was no shame in my game. Actually, Honesty is a great virtue that I have by nature, I guess. I say that, I mean, it's funny. I've had my counseling, I've taken the test, right? And I've got a lot of things wrong with me. But one of the things that was pointed out on these tests was, man, you're a fairly honest dude. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, pretty much. And I really was, man. You know, I wasn't scared to tell somebody my deep, dark secrets. And so that's really not what we're looking for when we're doing these step 4 and 5. It does need to come out, okay? I need to tell somebody the dark cranny of my past. I need to bring these things up. But that in itself is not what we're looking for. So when I'm going through these steps and somebody tells me I stole something, okay? We have to make it clear. We have to understand, well, why did you steal? What was the underlying defect? Were you envious? Did you just think that this person got it better than you and they won't need it, so you got a right to take it? Okay, so that was envy. That was the driving force. Or was it greed? It could have been just plain old greed. I already have some of this, but I want more. I already have one, but it's not the right kind. That one's the right kind, right? So it could have been greed that drove that particular act of stealing. I could have been slothful. I could have been lazy. Maybe I just didn't want to go to work. And I needed something that they had. Could have been food. Who knows, right? So because of my laziness, that's what drove, that was the underlying driving character defect for me to commit the act of stealing. So committing acts and harming people, we are going to talk about that when we get into this 5th column. These things will come up because I'm going to ask people, how are you greedy? How are you dishonest? How did you lie? What did you lie about, right? And so we're going to get into some of these nooks and some of these crannies when we go through this 5th column. Let's take another example, physical violence, okay? Physical violence, I could do somebody some physical violence or some verbal violence because of my pride. I could do them violence because of my conceit. I just think I'm better than you and I got a right to put you down. I could self-justify my violence. That one was a big one for me, was these people really needed it, right? I could put my hands on you because you really needed it. And that was the only way to get you to understand. So I could self-justify my violence. And of course, there was the anger involved. I could have been violent, but out of jealousy. Maybe jealousy drove my violence, okay? So in talking about these situations, when we go through this inventory, the prime objective, we want to see how these character defects were the driving force of the behaviors that we took, of the actions that we did. Let's take another one concerning sex. I slept with somebody else's partner. All right. That was self-justifying. I could have been self-justifying. I could have told myself, well, they want it. Neither one of us cares if this other person gets hurt. So I'm self-justifying. It could have been pride, man. Could have been conceit. I got that. That's right. That's the best mom in the neighborhood. I got that. Could have been pride. Could have been just out and out greed. I have a partner. Very good partner. But I'm just not satisfied with that. I need something different. I need something more. So we can see that that our actual actions, our behaviors are driven by these character defects. And hopefully, in talking with our sponsees, hopefully we can see that. And hopefully we get a clear picture of what's happening here. That we got somebody upsetting us. Somebody, some institution, okay, some principle, something is upsetting us. Okay, why is it upsetting me? What basic social instinct is being threatened? And have I jumped into a character defect? Now we're going to learn how not to jump into these character defects. We're going to learn that in a few minutes. But good, guys. I hope we just made this process clear, because it is so important. This is what we practice the rest of our lives. This is what we get to do every day from here on out. In some shape, form, or fashion, if we don't do this, the insanity of alcohol will return and we will drink again. So I do it on the fly, guys. Somebody's making me mad. Why are they making me mad? My instincts are getting threatened. Let me pray for forgiveness for this person. Realize that they are sick, just like I am too. And Lord, help me not get into one of these character defects. Can I do the opposite? And we'll go over that in a minute. But great. Okay, we'll keep this one short, and let's get into the fear on the next one. Awesome, guys. Take it easy.